Headers and footers are bits of text or information that you want to print at the top or the bottom of every single piece of paper. So you set it once for your spreadsheet and it will print on every piece of paper within that spreadsheet. So if we take employee C, for example, and do a print preview, you'll see that this currently requires 6 pieces of paper. If we were to add a header, it would appear here at the top of every single one of these 6 sheets. If we were to add a footer, it would appear here at the bottom of every single one of these 6 sheets. So how do we add a header and or a footer? Well, we go to page layout. On the page setup grouping, there is no header and footer option. We need to go into the page setup options. One click brings up the page setup dialog box with its own little tab for header/footer. And there's lots of things we can control in our header and footer, but the basics are to get some content into either the header or the footer. Now, to make things easier for you, there's a little drop list of common options provided both for the header and the footer. And in that drop list, you'll see there's an option for page 1, so that will put the page number on. Page 1 of, that will put the page number and the number of pages on. Table employees, that's the name of the file. We can put confidential, today's date, and the current page number. We can put the full file name. We can put the full file path. We can put the sheet name and the page number. We can put the sheet name and confidential and the page number. We can put the file number and the page number, etc. So there's a lot of shortcuts for headers and footers, and you'll find the same options that you've got there in the header dropdown are in the footer dropdown. So that's a quick way of creating a header or a footer. So in our header, we could say, actually, let's put the sheet name, and then in the footer, let's put page 1 of question mark. I can then say OK to accept that and go into print preview. And you'll see at the top of each sheet, there's the name of the sheet, so the tab, the worksheet, and there's page 1 of 6. And on the second page, page 2 of 6, and still TV employees at the top. So that's page setup, header, footer. And I've chosen a couple of the defaults. If I remove those by choosing none and none, I can actually customize my own header and footer. So let's do a custom header. Now what you'll find in the custom header dialog box is it's split into 3 sections. A left-hand section, anything you place in here will be aligned to the left. A right-hand section, anything you put in here will be aligned to the right. And a center section, anything you put in here will be center aligned. So first decision is to decide which of the 3 sections of your header to use. And then we've got some shortcuts here. This is the page number. This will insert the number of pages. This puts the date that you're currently working on the file. And the same with the time. Or we can insert the path for the file. That's quite common in the footer, so that you can see if you've got a print copy or a PDF copy where the original Excel file is. We can insert the file name, so that's without the path. We can insert the worksheet name. We can insert a picture even, so a logo. And then this option here is to format that picture, so that's currently grayed out. So in the middle here, if I actually just wanted to type Guy Vaccaro's employees, that physical text will appear at the top of every sheet. Now, if you put text in, you can format it by highlighting the text and choosing this little A here for font. And that'll bring up the font dialog box. Notice you don't have a massive amount of control, but we can change the typeface, the style to bold or italic, the font size, the color, and then underline and strike through. So let's push the font up to be 20 and in red, and let's have it double underlined. That's okay. So that's now going to be in the middle at the top of every page. At the right hand side, let's insert the sheet name. Now if I want to format that, I can do the same. I can highlight it. Notice it's put ampersand tab. So it's effectively a little function so that it always pulls out the sheet name. And we'll push the font up a little more navy. On the left hand side, let's have the file name. So ampersand file. And change that to green. And go up to 14. So we've gone a bit crazy in our formatting, but it's just for demonstration. OK. And the custom footer, you'll see exactly the same options. A left section, a center section, a right section. So on the right hand section, I could put page, and then the page, which is ampersand page. So the ampersand page will give me the actual page I'm on. The word page, we'll just type the word page on the file. So that's OK. And you see that's the bottom right of the footer. So we can then go OK, print preview, and we can see our header, which is a little crazy and mixed up font colors. And then page 1, move to the second page, page 2, and the headers remain the same. So that's the header and the footer. The header goes in the top section, the footer goes in the bottom of every single page on that worksheet. So we control that through page setup, header and footer, choose a pre-built one from the drop list for either or go into custom header or custom footer to add your own customized options, bearing in mind that the header and the footer is split into these 3 areas: a left-hand area center aligned, a center area center aligned, and a right-hand area right aligned. To remove the headers and footers at any stage from a given sheet, you come into the same area, the page setup, and just choose none from the drop list. And that will take out all the headers, and then none in the footer will take out all the footers. Say OK, and you'll then find you then have no headers and no footers. So the space is clear.